Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the May 18th Board of Trustees meeting to order and ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Trustee Satern.
Present.
Trustee Niewiardowski.
Present.
Trustee Ingraffia.
Present.
Trustee Keenley.
Present.
Supervisor Sweeney.
Present. Okay, with the help of our audiovisual vendor, we set up, obviously this is a lot better than it was last month. So they have like NASA set up in the back of the room, multiple computers, mixers. They also help us streamline and set up our Zoom meetings. We actually set up 2 accounts, one for set up as a webinar for the public to participate in, and then a closed loop meeting for the board and elected officials. So Paul Piak is manning the webinar to see if there's any public participation, and is there any, Paul? So there is no anybody that's online in the webinar asking to make any public comment, so we'll move beyond that. But thanks, Dan and Kevin, for getting this all set up so we're in much better shape. Thank you. Okay, the consent agenda. Are there any items that the board would like, any board member would like removed from the consent agenda?
No.
Okay. Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Satern, seconded by Trustee Ingraffia. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Satern.
Aye.
Trustee Niewiardowski.
Aye.
Trustee Ingraffia.
Aye.
Trustee Keenley.
Aye.
Supervisor Sweeney.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Under item E, discussion and potential action on approval of minutes. You have the April 27th regular board meeting and the April 27th executive session. Any discussion about, in regards to any of those minutes?
No.
Hearing none, if I can have a motion to approve both sets of minutes as presented.
So move.
Moved by Trustee Niewiardowski,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Satern. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have no presentations this month. Just as we'll go down to reports from the elected officials. I don't believe Connie's on the line, but is she participating by phone? Connie?
She just connected. Her audio is not on.
Connie, could you turn on your audio? All right, I'll circle back to her report. Clerk's report, George.
Yeah, you have a written report. There was no FOIAs. We had the filings on the Township Fund General Assistance Sewer Budget and Appropriation Ordinance. A couple other things, other issues. I want to thank everyone for getting in their statement of economic interest. We verified that everyone has it in. And then 2 side comments. I should have available for you next monthly meeting, a regular board meeting, a policy to consider for agency grant policy. Supervisor Sweeney needs to check on a couple of things before we put that before the board. And then we've received a request, a verbal request for financial support from Journeys for the shelter for the homeless. However, I did go back and ask for a formal request, and I have not seen anything yet. So that's where we are on that, if there's any questions.
Any questions for George?
No.
Hearing none. Highway Commissioners report. Art?
Well, we were scheduled to go out today with our engineer, Dan Craney Associates, and their engineering firm, Soil and Materials. But due to the rain, we called that off. That was the final punch list for our highway project, plus whatever problems any residents had reported. We were going to go and look at that, so that's going to be postponed for another few days. Other than my other report.
Okay. Any questions for Art?
No.
Connie, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
We can sure hear you, yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You have my report. As you know, we have now gotten a new date to open for appeals. And as of this date, we're trying to determine how we can most efficiently and safely service our taxpayers.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Any questions for Connie?
No.
Okay. Hearing none. I'll just quickly report, under my report, the wrapping of the food truck should be happening imminently. We're hoping this weekend. Obviously, a lot of things have been kicked back, but the signage, everything is in process for all the signs for the building. We have some window coverings that are coming for some of the hot spots in the building, at least where we get a lot of the sun. So we'll have that all done shortly. The plank wall is in production. We'll keep you posted on all the timelines for that. I did go back to the vendor for the landscaping, speaking about both items, about the general landscaping and then the landscaping for this, the monument sign. We went through the different items, and based on our conversations previously that I've had with the vendor, basically, the first time out, she basically said that 20,000 was a reduction from what she had previously proposed or wanted to implement. She said to go beyond that, and we walked through everything visually and also price-wise. On that $20,000, she's like, that's pretty. If you go below that, you start to really have bare spots and things like that. It made a lot of sense to me, based on what she had already scaled back. She walked me through what she had scaled back already. So I felt confident that $20,000 was kind of where we were at. I was a little bit, I was kind of a little bit more optimistic that we could get that down a couple more $1,000, but after talking to her, I think we'll have a really good look at a reasonable price on the landscaping. However, making the changes that we talked about, removing the brick, and just planting some flowers and a mulch base for the monument sign, we went from $5,000 to down to about $1,100. So almost a $4,000 savings on that end.
And what end was that?
That was on the landscaping specifically for the monument sign.
Oh, that's right, you had a separate for that, yeah.
Right. So other than that, I mean, that's still in production too. Obviously, the weather has messed with their crews as well. But that should be, we're hoping if the weather holds in the next week, they should have that well underway. And we'll just I'll keep the board posted of the timelines for all of these other items that we've approved. So, any questions for me?
No. No.
All right, with that, can I have a motion to accept the elected officials' reports as presented?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Niewiardowski, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Satern. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, there is no correspondence. There is no old business or new business. No items under executive session. And so if there's no other business to come before the board as it relates to the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Satern, seconded by trustee Niewiardowski. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Have a good evening.